Joseph Jaffe is not famous. Me, Tom Arnold, I am very famous. I absolutely like, because it's very true. Like, I hadn't freaking heard of you until I sitting on a Friday night. This is how bad my life is. Listen, fucker, good luck. Good luck with your rebranding. Like anybody knew what the name was before. What was the name? Okay, who gives a shit? That's a good name because it's got your name in it. You can pretend you're humble. You say, I'm not famous. And, which you aren't. So you're just not being anyway, but I hope you get famous doing this. Good luck to you.
A spring in your step. There is a twinkle in your eye.
I can throw a rhyme down for you real quick. Yes, they call me Thrill. They say that I'm the man. You disagree? How could you? Let me make you understand.
Should we bring her on the show? Can anybody find me? And there she is.
Fresh as some bread. Put right from the oven. When you feel rejected, you get some my loving.
On me.
She looks wonderful. Mom looks amazing.
Somebody too. Okay, more bugger off now. I've got to show it to you.
You like that?
Joseph Jaffe, ladies and gentlemen.
You just made the new intro of the show. Stupid, 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 stupid. I forgot to unmute. You see, this happens every single time. Let's take two. Yes, it's October 11th. Welcome. You know what, actually, it's interesting because StreamYard now has editing. You can actually clip videos. So I could technically have clipped that. But why would I? Because warts and all, flaws and all, what you see is what you get. We are all, isn't that the essence of human behavior? That we are all just flawed human beings. We need to give ourselves grace. We need to give other people grace as well. So yeah, like I made a mistake, so sue me. No, don't sue me. It's been a tough 2.5 years, but welcome to the show. My guest today is Fear the Beard. Fear the Beard. This is the only image I found. It's a little pixelated, but wait till you see the beard in Technicolor. I'm Joseph, and Bert's Technicolored dream beard will be on the show shortly. I'm excited to welcome him on the show. I'm a little under the weather, I'm not going to lie. I mean, this show brought to you by, my angel and my devil. Somebody send this to the brand managers, Mucinex. I think I might have taken the nighttime Mucinex by accident a few moments ago. So we'll see what happens. I'm just kidding. But yeah, a little bit of a throat infection. And here's the thing. It kind of feels good to be sick. It feels good to be sick again. This is the first time in 2.5 years that I'm not COVID-y, if you know what I mean. That actually my body, my immune system is starting to function normally again. I mean, other than the open heart surgery, but you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna ride it out, power through, and just deal with it. Now, a quick announcement for you. 99 cents. I remember the day when Coca-Cola, I have actually, here is my, this is a collector's item. This is new Coke. This is a collector's item. This is one of the Coke classic, brilliant case study, et cetera, But I remember the time that I just lost my train of thought, but whatever. Oh, yes, I remember the time that Coca-Cola said that they were competing with Apple. Now, how was Coke competing with Apple? Because 99 cents at the time would buy you either a can of Coke or it would buy you an iTunes download, and there was an Apple thing. So, the CMO, the chief marketing officer of Coke at the time, basically said, if you've got 99 cents in your pocket, you're going to choose either to buy a can of Coke or a song. And so therefore, Coca-Cola and Apple were competitors. Well, thing about competition is, you raise your game when your competitor is a worthy adversary, whatever. I definitely took the Mucinex nighttime now that I can see it. So why am I showing you 99 cents? Well, one of the things, Bert, and we'll chat about it as well, is there's a subscription solution now on Instagram, right? So I looked at it and I thought, well, there are different levels. Let me experiment by charging the very lowest that I possibly can, which is 99 cents. And the question is, what am I going to offer in return? Well, I know what I'm going to offer in return. What I'm going to offer in return are 1-minute highlights to the show. So, for example, there'll be a 1-minute highlight with Bert shortly. And once I edit it, and you'll be able to view that exclusively through a subscription service. 99 cents a month, I guess $12 a year. If you don't like it, you can cancel the subscription. It seems like a good amount to begin with. There's an exclusive subscriber group chat, and I'm going to lean into it and just kind of experiment a little bit. Let me give you a sense of what you might expect. So this is Lauren Turton, who was on the show August 31st, and here's the 1-minute highlight.
That's one thing in the space that I don't align with is the FOMO aspect. And the way that I've really been able to flip that is with JOMO, joy of missing out. Truly knowing and understanding that you are where you're meant to be.
I'd like to introduce a new term today, inspired by you. Instead of JOMO, I'm going to come up with JOMU, which is the joy of messing up, because God knows I have made so many mistakes. I cannot even open up my MetaMask these days. But can you see the joy on my face? I'm crying on the inside, but outside I'm joyous. So the joy of messing up.
Because it's not actually messing up. You're failing forward.
Right.
You're learning, being really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Ooh, that's another good one right there.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to get 2 to 3 times a week, about 10 times a month, and maybe more and maybe less, etc. Maybe some bloopers. And we'll see whether people respond to it. I love these bites because for me, I love builds, right? Some FOMO, JOMO, joy of missing out, to joy of messing up, to actually embrace the mess, right? Embrace the muck, embrace the fact that we are flawed individuals and we're not going to get it right all the time, etc. So something else to just share with you: every single morning in the Collective Cafe, at least every weekday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we hang out and we have coffee together. You are all invited. Discord.gg/Alpha Collective. It is free. It will always be free. There is nothing required other than your time, your ears. You don't have to participate. You can listen. You can commute. You can garden. You can treadmill. You can get the kids ready for school. We're having a whale of a time. And actually on this Thursday, we're actually going to do something which is a live book read. Not a book club, but a live book read. So we're starting off with my own book, with my first book, the book that started it all, Life After the 30-Second Spot. And I'm actually going to read, and hopefully whoever has a copy of it can help me as well. And we will read through the entire book, and we will take notes, and we will look at builds, and we'll look at what came true, what didn't come true, what is kind of timeless, what we can use today. So it's almost like a mastermind meets book club. And again, this Thursday, if you want to join us, 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But now it's time to get to our seated soliloquy, because I'm seated and it is a soliloquy. And I use my little egg timer to make sure that I do not go 3 minutes over. And today, the seated soliloquy is called Powering Through. Now, I'm not feeling great. I told you that. Let's start the egg timer. I'm making a few mistakes. Like, how did you sleep last night? I made a few mistakes. Whatever. We all know that that little pun. But I was thinking, what does powering through look like now, post March 2020, compared to before? Now, before, we seem to put ourselves, our body, our mental health, our self-care, we almost threw it out the window because we were warriors. We were road warriors. We did it all for the company that at the end of the day didn't really appreciate us, didn't really treat us the way we deserved to be treated, laid us off when times got tough, really in it for themselves for the most part. So why were we powering through? Who were we powering through for? For us or for them? And now things have changed. And now our priorities have realigned. And now we're suddenly thinking about the fact that there is a long game, that there is a next time and a next time and a next time. And where's the precedent we set and where's the bar that we set as well? And so, I slowed down yesterday. I slowed down today. I canceled the show yesterday. I didn't want to cancel the show today. I, nuked myself at night and took the Mucinex. This show sponsored by Mucinex Nighttime for all of your sleepy. Anyway, and I was able to take my foot a little bit off the gas, but it didn't feel comfortable for me just to stop. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a solo entrepreneur. I'm a show host. I'm a teacher. I've got my class tonight. I had my coffee this morning. The show must go on. And the thing is, remember how I started this soliloquy? I said, who was I doing it for? Well, I'm not sure that I'm doing it for me now either. I think I'm doing it for you, for the community, for my guest, for Bert, for the people that are watching, for my students tonight, for the people that come to our coffee in the morning. When you realize that your role, your place on this third rock from the sun is really not a narcissistic existence. It's not there to glorify or extol your virtues, to feed your ego, to build your bank balance. But in fact, you can actually make a difference in somebody else's life. That gives you the strength and that gives you the power to power through. And hopefully I will power through today's episode without coughing too many times, because that dry hacking cough is just not nice. All right, so there is the QR code for those of you that want to get a little bit of Jaffe coin. Go for it and get yourself Jaffe coin. Tom Morris, our resident philosopher. Tom, wait until you see your 1 minute clip. I actually recorded 2 clips because you're just so damn smart. Man versus man was one of them that I remember, and the other one was the whole conversation we had about patriotism, real patriotism, right, versus isolationism. Just a brilliant contribution. He just wrote a book called The Everyday Patriot. But now we're going to talk to another everyday patriot. We're going to talk to Bert Oliva. Bert is the perfect guest. Let me tell you why he's the perfect guest. He is the perfect guest. He's wondering now, why am I the perfect guest? Because he's got so much video. He's such a pro that all I had to do, especially for someone, trying not to talk too much, I was like, hey, listen, I don't have to introduce him and read his bio. I can just show you this.
The following is rated R for results and may not be suitable for the negative mind. Bert Oliva is an international orator, as well as a renowned authority on leadership and human behavior. For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. He speaks around the world about his experiences, and his teachings have enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess.
People are looking for that edge,
And you know who's going to get us there?
You tell me.
Bert Oliva.
Hi, Bert
Oliva.
Bert Oliva.
Enabling him to communicate with all kinds of audiences.
Considered the voice of inspiration and motivation.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians
to influence millions of people around the world.
Make it happen.
We're making it happen.
Bert Oliva is a success and the father of humanology. So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential. Get ready to connect and be part of a positive, world-changing mission. Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. A couple of things I want to say before we get started. Number one, I really want to thank you for doing what it is you're doing, powering through, even when life gives you challenges. And that says a lot about you. And people that are not succeeding today, for the most part, is because they're not willing to do what it takes. So thank you. And at the end of the day, I just want you to get better as soon as possible. But thank you so much for this opportunity and powering through like you've done today.
You have to keep going. It's like you and I feel, Bert, that so many people today, and look, I'm going to ask I'm going to address the unbearded elephant in the room, because it's not you or me, but when we think about Gen Z, when we think about younger consumers today, whether this is accurate or not, whether this is generalized or stereotyped or not, there is a sense of immediate, instant gratification that they're just not prepared to work as hard as we did or our parents did. And I'm not saying that we were right. I mean, that we would work 60, 70, 80 hour, the devil wears Prada, the stereotypical New York City existence where we worked ourselves to the bone. But surely we've swung to the opposite extreme where no one's prepared to really, really just grind and put in the work and put in the time to get the thing done.
I agree. They give up way too soon. And it happens on both sides, though. It's not really a Generation X or Z or whatever the case is. Even baby boomers, even Generation X, right? Some people think they're too old to live their dream. You're never too old to live your dream. And some people say, well, I'm still too young. You're not too young. There is no age. Just get started. And most people don't want to get started because they want to perfect it first. Guess what? You know this, and I know this. There's no such thing as being perfect. At the end of the day, the more you put out content, the more you actually put yourself out there and more people get to find you, the more successful you're going to be, whatever it is, whether it's you, your information, your widget. I mean, look at you. You're famous because you started not being famous.
I've got decidedly more unfamous over the years.
It's great, but you had to start. Most people are not ready to start because they want to be perfect. You know what? Just get started. That's what people need to know.
Well, there's so much, right? There's fear. There's debilitating fear in terms of just getting going. But I love what you said. Just get started, because you know what? All the embarrassing episodes and the content and the times that you just were, when you cringe, when you look back at yourself, that's in the rear view mirror. And now you just move forward. I mean, where was I? What was I watching? I mean, it was like a motivational speech that actually talks about, the rear view mirror, right, is this small, right? It's this small. The windshield is this big. The windshield represents your future, represents everything moving forward. And that's why maybe that rear view mirror is so small, because it's just get a glance of it, be aware of what's going on, but ultimately just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I tell my children all the time, become a straight F student in life. Fail fast forward. Eventually, you're going to figure it out. And people are afraid of failing. Well, guess what? You just failed by not getting started. At the end of the day, whatever your dream is, whatever you want to accomplish in your life, it's possible. But you have to get started. And it sounds simple. Like people say, well, it sounds easy. It is easy, just not simple. You have to take action in anything you want to do in life.
We had someone in our coffee this morning who just said, you've inspired me to the point where there is something that I've been sitting on for 5 years, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to get started. And I said to him, You know, on one hand, maybe you feel a sense of frustration, which is I've wasted 5 years and 5 years have gone by. And can you imagine where I would have been if I had started then? But on the other side, you can look at it and say, the fact that it is still valid and relevant and, and now, what better time than right now to get the thing done? And perhaps you're even more ready for it. Maybe back then you just wouldn't have executed it well, or you would have given up, or all the other things. So timing is so critical.
I agree with everything it is we're doing. We were having a conversation, which, by the way, I just have a quick idea for you. One of the bonuses that you can give to your 99 cents members in Instagram, not only those clips, because those clips would be more beneficial if you actually put them online because it's short form video, but maybe behind the scene footage, something that when we speak before the show starts, or maybe 5 minutes after the show, content that they never can get their hands on unless that would be more beneficial. I think so, because people love behind the scenes. They like to be taken through the process of what it's like to get on a stage. What is it like to prepare for this show? That's what they want to see. And if you give them tidbits of that, at the end of the day, that's one of the things that they'll pay for. As an idea.
No, I absolutely love that. And that's kind of what we started doing today, by starting the show where you can actually see me hitting the button. And, one of the things that I felt very strongly about this show is I want people to see that actually you can do it with nothing more than a laptop. You don't need the microphone. You don't need the roadcaster. You don't need the HD camera. You don't need the lighting. You just actually need your heart and your soul and a laptop. And it's actually amazing.
Think about it. There's over 7.5 billion people on this planet. And there's a huge amount of people waiting for you and your message, or whatever it is that you have to offer. At the end of the day, they might not like this sexy beard. They might not like Mr. Not Famous. At the end of the day, they're waiting for you, but you're not showing up.
That beard is class A, let me tell you.
Thank you. But like I was saying, they're waiting for you to show up and they're not showing up. And then at the end of the day, millennials and the younger generation are more concerned about clout than earning a living. How many followers do you have? That's what's important to them. At the end of the day, look, it's okay. Even if you have 10 followers, but they're loyal to you, is better than having 100,000 followers that don't look at you, just follow you. So forget about the number, focus on the message. And at the end of the day, a lot of people tell you, what, I don't have time. At the end of the day, Joseph, it's just my time is limited. Let me tell you guys something. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. It's what you do with those 24 hours that makes a difference in your life. So my next question is, nowadays I'm able to pick up your phone and the phone tells you where you're spending your time, on what app. So the question is not that you don't have time to get online. The question is, are you consuming more than you're creating? And most people are doing the latter. They're consuming and they're not creating because they're looking at their competitors. They're giving feedback on what the competitor is doing wrong instead of, well, why do that? Why tell the people around you what's being done wrong? Why don't you show them by taking action?
So you call that, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but you call that social proof.
Social proof.
Right?
Yeah.
So define social proof for us.
The background check they used to do back in the day was they had to go and look you up and, have a private investigator. Today, as soon as they meet you, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to Google you. And if you can't be found, then you're not important. At the end of the day, to get found and organically, all you have to do is a couple of easy steps. Number one, anytime a new social media comes out, claim your name. It's absolutely free. Whether you like the social media or not, doesn't matter. Claim your name. Notice, anywhere on every social media platform, you look up Bert Oliva and we own it. Now, do all of them have content? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, we own that name. So make sure, number one, anytime a new social media that you hear that's something that's coming out new, claim your name. So that way, Google will go ahead, when they do a search, populate all these social media so they can find you. Number two, repurpose your content. We're not in a place now that you have to create organic content for each of the platforms. As long as you repurpose your content, someone may see it on TikTok and someone may see it on LinkedIn, and your preferred social media may be Instagram. So keep this in mind. Choose one social media that's your preferred social media, so you learn the algorithm, you learn how everything is laid out, you learn that social media, but make sure to post on other social media so that way you'll be available to whoever's watching on their preferred social media. I lost you.
I did it again. I coughed.
Well, no, let's use it. It's just because he's sick, guys. All right.
Yeah,
So don't.
I was trying to be so considerate that I was coughing. I was saying I was waiting for number 3. Here's number 3. Number 3 is called cheating. So as I've said to people before, when I do this, you might think I'm just such a nice guy and I'm, putting this beautiful big face in front of you. But no, I'm cheating right now. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm taking notes. I'm coughing. And I'm the voice of God.
I thought you were cheating because you were taking, notes, making sure you elevate.
Notes. I'm taking notes. I was waiting for number 3.
See, look, I don't cheat. I just bring up my cup. So
yeah, what's in the
Cheers.
cup? No. So number 1, claim your name. Number 2, repurpose your content. Number 3, see rule number 1. How about that one? Go and claim your name. So I like that. Well, before we're claiming names and going back to this idea of social proof, the adoring fans, they want to know some fun facts about you, Bert. They want to know who the real Bert Oliva is. And so we sent our private investigators into the field, and we found out that you're a very loyal man. So you've been married to your wife for 27 years and together for 33 years. Now, I met my wife in 1991. So that's 31 years. We've been married for, I don't know, 25, 24.
Congratulations, man.
We got married in 99. That would mean 24 years, 23 years. I hope she's not watching right now. I really, really hope she's not watching. But congratulations to you. Why do you choose this as one of your fun facts or interesting facts about you? Why do you lead with this?
Because I think it's really important. I remember growing up, I came to this country when I was 11 months old, and my mother left Cuba because she was fleeing the Cuban regime because my father was communist. And then I remember myself growing up. Well, and by the way, when I got here, I never had a grandparent, no brothers, no sister. My mom was my world. And I remember growing up, it was the norm was seeing a father and mother coming to school to whatever event we were having, but I didn't have the father figure. And then later on, when I had my children, the common way of being together was broken families. And I'm like, no, that's one of the things. A lot of people focus only on making a lot of money, but why not make a lot of money with someone you love? You're going to spend a lot of money dating different people. I think it's one of the strongest foundation. In order to succeed in life, you have to find your significant other and build everything you want to build together. That's just the way I was brought up. My mom always told me, choose that one person and stick with that person. So, fell in love at a young age, and she backed me up on all my dreams. And then we kind of turned it around where she opened her nonprofit organization and I backed her up, so it's just, that to me is extremely important. My children love it because they themselves are trying to follow the same model, even though that they're younger, right? My children are millennials, and I have a Gen Z also. I have 3 children, but at the end of the day, they're looking for that perfect significant other for them. And I think it's because they've seen mom and dad for so many years. They want to duplicate what they've seen.
It is definitely interesting because, you know, when we think about generational continuity, in some respects we push away and we push off and we say we're not going to bring our kids up this way, or we're not going to, you know, we're going to almost disconnect. And I'm not saying we, but people are disconnecting from their legacy, their history, their equity, their life source. And in other cases, it's the opposite, where we try and emulate what we had. You know, we try and emulate what we had if it's good. We try and push away from it if it's bad. But this idea of longevity, loyalty, continuity, these are not fait accompli anymore. But they're critical in terms of values and you know, beliefs, and ultimately character and identity, right?
Well, exactly. I know it's important having a strong foundation in everything in life, you know, from building a home to whatever it is, even a business. The foundation part is the most important thing. And I believe that if you have a strong family as a foundation, everything else comes, you know, as long as you work towards it. So it's not easy, but no one says it was going to be easy to be successful because it's been over 33 years. And I'm not saying it's been a, you know, beautiful peachy king type of marriage. No, there's challenges like everything else in life, but it's been well worth it. And I'm looking forward to the next 33 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, we will talk about the future, but before, you did mention that you came to this country, to the US, when you were 11 months old. We actually have a photo, believe it or not, of that day when you arrived.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. And the beard was still fully formed as well, which makes you very unusual as an 11-month-old.
Joseph, your trip.
But look how coochie coo. You look so cute. There is one interesting. I can't unsee this now. There's one other fun fact about you, which is the fact that you're an introvert. And this is interesting because, you know, not in a million years would I think that this larger than life, you know, man with his beautiful manicured beard would be an introvert. And yet the more I talk to people, the more I realize actually how many introverts there are. Tell us a little bit about your journey and also your brand, right? This branding, the beard, you know, how you've used it to almost, you know, build on top of it, surprise, delight, you know, kind of deal with it, etc. Because I think so many people, again, Bert, when we go back to this idea of why don't people start? Because they're afraid, because it's not natural for them, because it's out of their comfort zone. So
that's a lot of questions. Which one would you want me to answer first?
I want you to go in order. I want you to go part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, subsection I, B,
gotcha. Yeah.
Introvert.
No, I mean,
what's up with that?
It's crazy. I remember when I got into the self-help world, it was many years ago. I used to work for a company called Xerox Corporation, and they had training up in Leesburg, Virginia. And that's where I had my first taste of motivational speakers, you know, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. And I said, one day I'm going to be just like these guys, because there was no one doing it in the Latin market, or not even in the Latin market, but with a Latin name. Long story short, over 28 years later, you know, a lot of them became my friends, the first mentor, and then became my personal friends. Like Les and I are really close. And I was able to spend some time with Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar. So one of the things that I learned was you need to brand yourself from a young age. I needed to create a brand for myself. However, in our seminars, when we were teaching people human behavior, you know, the way the subconscious mind works and things, how you set up for the future and all these great things, we also would bring in people, have people eat fire, bend steel, you know, walk on glass. I did the fire walk for a little bit, but that's where everybody started calling me the Latin Tony Robbins. So if you look at my younger pictures, we have this similar look. So I said, I mean, being compared to the best, great. That's awesome. But I'm not Tony Robbins. I'm Bert Oliva. So that's when I decided to let the beard grow. and said, you know what, I'm going to use the beard as a way to brand myself. And my wife loves beards at the end of the day. So started doing it. People started loving the beard. And then that itself, the beard itself has become a brand. And the reason that it's gray now is because I got allergic to hair dye, the men hair dye just for men. I ended up putting it on, and next thing you know, I ended up getting like a second-degree burn. It was horrible. And I said, you know what? If this is the way I'm supposed to look, then be it. But so that's the whole branding thing. Being an introvert is crazy. And people think because I'm 6'3", I mean, I'm 6'3" and, you know, 270 pounds, and I'm pretty built. I'm a big guy. And I get off the stage and I kind of shy away, or, you know, just take off. They're like, oh, he's arrogant. No, I'm just really shy. I'm not shy in front of a camera. I'm not shy in front of an audience. I've done over 10,000 people, like in Vegas and so forth. But I am really a shy person. So a lot of people will invite me to the galas and private parties, and they're expecting, oh, Bert's going to be here. Let's go ahead and, you know, speak up, do this. And I'm not. I'm just shy. I'm really, I'm a lot to myself, even though I love being around my family. I am 100% a family person, because since I didn't grow up with a family, my mom was my family. I ended up building my family. And then even my employees are part of like an extended family to me. Now you're part of my extended family.
I accept it. I wonder how you can spot someone who is truly arrogant versus this idea of being shy, because so many times in our lives, we think we know someone, we feel like we know them because of what we've seen superficially or materialistically or on the outside, when the reality is, I mean, I've met more people than not who are shy and perceived as being arrogant, as opposed to the ones that are truly arrogant. How do you tell the two apart?
You really can't, because at the end of the day, I mean, we can sit down and talk about their breathing patterns and micro expressions and all these great things. Just go up to them, take the charge, you know, find out if they're arrogant by speaking to them. And you'd be surprised how many times you go to people that you may look up to, and or someone that you're like, oh my God, no, they're a great speaker. Or like, for example, I bump into Joseph at an event and I love his talk, and I'm like, I want to meet this guy. I'm not going to assume that he's arrogant. I'm going to go ahead and give him his shot, right? So I'm going to walk up to him and say, hey, look, you know, I loved your talk. How he responds to me after that, that's really up to him. But most of the time we lose that opportunity by not taking action. Back to what we spoke about in the beginning. The dumbest question is the one you don't ask. Go up to those people. Ask them. You want a mentor in your life, and you find someone that's doing something great. And I'm not just talking about wealth. I believe that we need many mentors in our life. And I have many mentors in my life. I have a mentor that has had a great relationship a lot longer than I have had it. And I have them mentor me on that part of my life. You know, then I have these wealthy mentors that don't even speak on a platform. I wanted to learn from them. So find these mentors. It's going to help you succeed faster than you trying to reinvent the wheel. And just ask the question. You know, if you're interested in something, don't hesitate to ask. And you'd be surprised how many people are willing to help you.
I really love that point. And, you know, it is as simple as being able to just, again, push yourself out of your comfort zone. I was sitting in the lounge, and I was flying out of JFK, and James Corden was there. And, you know, I wanted to go up to him and just say, hey, James, you know, I'm a talk show host or trying, and could you help me? Could you I had all these things I wanted to say. And I just sat and I was like trying to pluck up enough courage and just make the move. And then the next thing, he left. And I thought, you blew it. You blew it. You blew the opportunity to go up to someone and say, hey, listen, you don't know me from Adam. You shouldn't have to care a damn about me, but maybe, just maybe, you'll take me under your wing and help me out. And you know what? And so I convinced myself in my mind that he would have basically said, listen, you little shit, just, piss off, basically, kind of like, I'm busy right now. I don't have time for you. So in my mind, I convinced myself that he would have just, brushed me off and been arrogant about it. And I missed the opportunity. And it will always weigh on me as one of those moments.
You're still talking about it.
Yeah.
It's still it's embedded in your mind. And at the end of the day, by not trying, you've already failed. I'll tell you what, though, it doesn't matter who's in front of you now. You're never going to go ahead and miss that opportunity because, you've learned from that one mistake. Believe it or not, that's the way it works.
Yeah, James Corden's going to be on the show. I'm going to pitch him right after this, and I'm going to show him that clip. I'm doing it. What do you mean?
The worst thing that can happen is they say no. Okay,
exactly.
But at least you know what? You're not going to feel bad for not trying. You're not going to have these internal conversations saying,
I know, like,
shoulda, woulda, coulda. No, you did it.
It's the angel and the devil. It's the two Mucinexes talking to me.
I say you take the nighttime Mucinex and pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah, I can see that ending well. All right. I want to just, we spoke about the power of brands and branding, and I love this idea of branding yourself at a young age. Your branding is so iconic, black and white, text leading. I really love it. I love the fact, you've been very, very deliberate. Like there is not much deviation from the style guide, if you will. We can talk about it, but I actually want to also just show, going back to social proof, because I told you gave me there's so much good fodder, if you will. This was your video in social proof.
People tell me all the time, well, I don't have time to get on social media. Look, everyone's on social media. The real question is, are you consuming more than you're creating? That's really the question. Because there's over 7 billion people in this world that's waiting for you to show up. And if you don't show up, then you're going to complain that it wasn't meant for me.
I like it. It's like the floating head. You're like the Wizard of Oz now.
The lighting was off, but that's fine. But you see, that's another thing. If you create content, put it out. Whether that one right there, the lighting was a little off, but at the end of the day, it's still out there. And it could be the one that goes viral. It could be the one that changes that one person's life. That's all that matters. Another thing that I do is like this interview. We're recording it on our end, not you, but what I'm saying. Then I can get clips off of that. Record every interview that you're a part of.
Yeah.
That's it right there. You can get a bunch of content. I'm excited that you mentioned that we're going to get a copy of this interview. Guess what? If we get a copy of this interview, we're going to go ahead and chop it up and not only put it up, but also promote, his show.
Each other, right? And
yes, and a lot of people don't like to do that. They live in this world of the prima donna concept. Is let me get my name out there. You'll get further by promoting other people that you're working with. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. That was a comment there. What they said?
Yes. Well, Sarah's saying she's getting some weird audio. But Sarah, if you contact me, I'll make sure that you get hopefully the original version, and hopefully it's just on her end as well. But I want you all to look out for the new book from Bert Oliva. It's called The Prima Donna Concept. I like that one. I had to just type that up very quickly. The Prima Donna Concept. It's true. Again, it's everyone just trying to like be perfect and work on themselves instead of letting go, being a little flawed.
I mean, let me tell you something. Two things I wanted to bring up real quick. You just don't know it, Joseph. At the end of the day, you're intimidating. You just don't know it. So when they see your video reels and they see all, they see your videos, they look at 400. What is it? 405 interviews or something like that.
But this is the best one. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, cool. But when you see that and the intros, maybe I have great content that I want to be on your show. Most people won't reach out to you because perceived value is like, this guy is just way too big. And then, you miss out. You'd be surprised if the content is good enough.
I say
reach
yes
out.
to,
yeah.
I'm
you have
easy.
to.
I'm easy. I'm promiscuous. No, but I pitched you.
Yeah.
I pitched
Yeah,
you
but that's
because I
because I
loved
was
your
watching. I think there was a show. I was happened to be on Instagram that day, and who was it? Was it Andy Hernandez? I don't know who it was.
Andy
Was on
Enriquez.
Enriquez. It was. There were someone was on your show, and I commented. That's all I did. Next thing you know, you reach out back.
You mean like Big Daddy Leo just commented as well?
Just like that.
Just like
but
that.
it was a little more elaborate, right?
Yeah.
And then you reached back at me and we spoke a little bit back and forth. And next thing you know, I get a link. You want to be on the show? I said, sure, that'll be great. And we're now building a relationship. So again,
we're family.
Yeah, and that's right, my extended family. You need to participate on social media, not just watch.
Right. You
like,
need to also
comment, get
you need
involved.
to write a book called "Don't Drink the Kool-Aid."
Yeah, a guide to living life on your terms.
Yes, I mean, which other terms would you want to live on here? And here's another thing. I'll give you I'll see your power tip, and I'll raise you another power tip, which is create video. One of the reason why I haven't launched my subscription yet on Instagram is because you can create a little promo video and a little intro video. Well, I was sick in bed yesterday, so I wanted to create it this way so that I can actually have a welcome video. So here is the official video for Don't Drink the Kool-Aid, damn it.
We're all brainwashed. Yes, even you. We have been conditioned by our upbringing, society, and experiences. It's time to stop living unconsciously and time to become aware of the beliefs, processes, and thoughts you are blindly taking in.
Did you know that we have about 60,000 thoughts per day? And 95% of those thoughts are repeated from the day before and the day before that. That means that 80% of our thoughts are negative. What am I telling you? What I'm telling you is that we have about 45,000 negative thoughts every day. You see, this book is going to help you not only to become aware of these thoughts, but also how to reprogram yourself for a better quality of life.
The book takes socially negative issues that can affect your life or business and gives them a positive spin. The topics include The Walking Dead, attention deficit, discrimination, substance abuse, identity crisis, social dysfunction, and capital punishment.
This book is designed to shock you out of your comfort zone. You have no idea how much of your life is on autopilot. We're going to give you the tools and techniques so you can have full control of the thoughts that you have in your mind, the choices that you make, and the actions that you take. So please feel free to subscribe, repost, forward, share, like, comment, do whatever it is that you can do to help me get this message out there. Thank you.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Drink red.
Listen, Tony.
That was a long time ago.
Listen, Tony. Tony, you actually do look a lot like Tony Robbins, and but you look so different. I actually I did a double take. I had to I think I've got the wrong guy. I wanted Tony Robbins on my show, and I got Bert. No, I'm joking. I didn't want Tony. I wanted Bert. I wanted the beard. I needed the beard. I didn't want that. It looks like his skin was as soft as a baby's bottom there.
Yeah, it was a while back. I've been doing this for a long time.
I'm telling you as well. All right, so we wanted to chat about a few things. You've written some. You've written this book. You're doing so much, and you really are, I think, kind of differentiating yourself, not just the beard, but in terms of this idea of human behavior. So I always find a quote, and this is the quote that I found for you. It is as follows: generally, I tend to despise human behavior rather than human creatures. And you would never, ever guess who said this. Like in a million years, you would never guess. So don't try. Don't try.
Okay.
Sidney Poitier. Can you believe that? Generally, I tend to despise human behavior rather than human creatures. This is clearly a statement that says it's not the people, it's how they behave, but there's two different things. Well, you know better than I do. What does this quote mean?
Well, it depends on how he meant it when he says it, but um you see, because we are ourselves human creatures also. So
We are.
yeah. So the behavior is an issue because again, it's part of your opinion and everyone has one. So what we teach is a little different. It's about recognizing your true potential and how to tap into that potential. And we give you the actual, tools. Like I'll give you an example, right? If you live in the United States and you're driving in the car and you see the color red, what are you supposed to do? If you're
Pull over.
driving, if you see the color red in front of you,
yeah, stop.
okay, green, you're supposed to do what?
Go, damn it.
Okay, holidays in this country, what's orange and black?
Gotta be Halloween.
Red and green?
Christmas.
Colors condition us, words condition us. So you don't realize these things that are happening right in front of you. Well, if we teach you how to become more aware, you'll definitely become successful. So what words are you using? What colors are you using for your brand? At the end of the day, we are all attracted to certain things. And this is one of the things that we do. And I've done this same question. I've done it in rooms with over 10,000 people, and the entire audience figure out Halloween, Christmas. We're conditioned as of birth. So at the end of the day, when you're born, there's only two fears that we have: the fear of sound and the fear of falling.
And public speaking.
No, that's later on.
Okay.
Any other fear is something that you've attracted through pain or association with something. So basically, when you only fear two things as of birth, the fear of speaking is a whole different animal. It's been said, or I've said many times, people prefer, at the end of the day, the number one fear in the world is public speaking. And the number two is death. People prefer to die than to speak in public.
That's crazy.
But that is something that we've attracted to ourselves. But basically, someone is laughing here. Big Daddy Leo. So at the end of the day, again, that's what conditioning is all about. That's what we teach in the book, how to actually, invest in yourself. Because when you are actually speaking around the world, I learned from my mentors back in the day. One of them was Omar Periu, and he told me, Bert, make sure to invest. Because if you don't invest, when it comes to seminar, is a catch business. So you're going to make a lot of money, but it's not guaranteed if the following year they don't hire you. So invest. And I learned at a young age to invest in properties, to invest in put money in investments, invest in companies, different things. I never got into Bitcoins, which maybe we need to talk, because I know you do something like that.
Yeah, well, consider yourself one of the lucky ones as well. Now is a good time to...
But that's what I did, and that's where I made my wealth. And then I saw that you posted Boa Studios. Boa Studios is something that I really did when the pandemic hit, and I was kind of bored. We weren't traveling anymore because all my three companies that are, doing extremely well. One is about filming and doing production for conferences, speakers, authors. Then I speak all over the world in 2 languages. And then the third company is Motivational Missions, which is a nonprofit organization where we go to speak to children all over the world. My wife said, once we get to a certain level of success, it's our obligation to give back. So we opened the nonprofit. In Belize alone, we spoke to over 50,000 children.
Amazing.
We've done Trinidad. Wow. We've done Jamaica. We've done all these things. Thank you. So when the pandemic hit, we're like,
sorry, you get the air horn too.
We were doing events just like you, in the comfort of home, and we created a whole studio at the house. And one of my sons, has become one of the top videographers in South Florida. He does music videos and all these things. And he's like, Dad, why don't we open up a studio? I'm like, okay, I'll open up a studio. We opened up Boa Studio as a location to create video production, podcasts. I'm right now sitting in the podcast room, and I decided to do something different. I wanted to create a space for creators to be creative. So basically, you can come to Boa Studios and rent the location, whichever room you want to use, by the hour, by the project, or by the day.
Where is it?
Pretty,
South? I'm coming.
it's South Florida. It's like right next to Tamiami Airport, which is a private airport, executive airport, and a lot of our clients fly in and then they come, use the studio, and fly back out. However, we've only been in business. We've opened it about 6 months ago, but only been really open after the build out 3 months. And now I'm expanding to Hollandale, which is further up north, close to Fort Lauderdale. And that location has beach access. So you can actually do your podcast and then just walk onto the beach. So it's now becoming like a franchise. We're starting to expand.
I got my lava lamp in my hand right now. And I'm So what I want to do is and my son's at University of Miami, so now I have an excuse.
You got to come visit us. When you come visit us, definitely we got to do a podcast here or something.
I'm telling you, like IRL. But
I'm telling you, you're in, man.
One of the things that you've put out in terms of content is this idea of actually why are short videos so effective, and you've also released a video promo cheat sheet. I won't divulge all the details because you have to put in your email address, etc. And I'll give you a link to get that as well. But so let me ask you. Here's another elephant. Am I doomed producing a 1 hour talk show, daily talk show, when short videos in this TikTok enabled world and Instagram, and you look at
what you need to do, and if you look at Joe Rogan, who's the #1 podcast.
Never heard of him, but carry on, please.
Exactly. If you look at him, one of the things that you'll notice is that he'll put out a 3-hour show. However, there's like 80 clips that go up. So if you go ahead and cut down your clips and put the short form video, not only on YouTube, but on all the other platforms, and that way you're targeting a larger space in the algorithm. Why? Because this clip, we may be talking about FOMO. This clip here, we're talking about conditioning. Even though the show itself may have a certain amount of hashtags, each clip has a different, you use different hashtags to actually get a different or a broader audience, right? So what I do, what I recommend is you get that 1 hour show, you clip a bunch of it up there, you post the clips first before you put up the show. So they're like teasers for a movie, and then the show comes out. So now you're getting more eyes on your platform because you're doing that.
Oh, I like
and you'll
that.
Notice, yeah.
No, I was going to say it's a kind of a reverse, because generally what's happening is you're seeing, whether it's Seth Meyers or Jimmy Fallon, they put out the whole show and then they release the clips. And so what happens is, I guess, it conditions people to say, hey, I'll just wait for the clips, as opposed to the opposite, which is I've seen the clips. Now let me get the, this was my little past hors d'oeuvre, but I want the entree.
Yeah, but remember, Jimmy Fallon, they already have a huge audience on television. So they're just making sure that they can convert the other audience to maybe come watch the station, right? So it's a different kind of programming. I compare you more, like you compared me to Mandela, I compare you more to Joe Rogan, because he's strictly YouTube, and now he's in different platforms. But
Jaffe, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. And I like your show. I like the way you're going. There's like five.
More hair.
There's like 5 people you've interviewed, which I know are top of the notch quality contents, and that's just the ones I know. So you have great content. You have great people that you're interviewing. So at the end of the day, we just need to get more eyes on you, even though you have great views on your channel. But all you have to do is cut those clips up. Short form videos is what's blowing up everywhere. There's no need to reinvent the wheel.
Take me under your beard, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Take me under your beard. I will nestle. I will learn. I will learn. We are almost, in fact, we are at the top of the hour. Time flies when you are having fun. It is true. But also, Lubna Zaru is our correspondent on a Tuesday. And she always talks about flow. I think that is something Bert would identify with as well. This was actually from last Tuesday, and I didn't want to get too much in arrears. But Lubna, we'll let you take it away, and then we'll wrap it up.
Is one of your goals for this last quarter of 2022 to crush it, to make an offer to your audience and absolutely get the most people you've ever gotten, or make the most money you've ever made? Then pay attention. It is Flow Tuesday again, and we're going to be talking about how you can leverage your personal flow to create flow in the marketplace, because it does work that way. If you've ever experienced putting out content out there on social media and you're not getting enough traction and attraction from your ideal client, it is time to go back to basic. So think about it. If you're struggling right now online, then you might not be tapping into your personal flow. And I've shared before how to discover your personal flow, because the connection between personal flow and market flow is through two different factors. Number one is the factor of value, because you can increase flow by increasing value in the marketplace. So if you're thinking about your offer today, think about how can you make that offer even more valuable for your ideal client than you have done up to this point. It does require you to have built the know, like, and trust factor, to have the credibility in the marketplace. So you might want to combine your content and whatever you do online to attract those people with those two aspects. The other factor next to value that flow helps you with is leverage. And leverage is about leveraging what you know, what you have. And you can do that through two different aspects, two different strategies. Strategy number one is by multiplying, making something a lot, or magnifying, which means you put the spotlight on what you already have, whether it's your personal brand or your offer. So those are the two connection points between personal flow and market flow. So if you're struggling right now in the marketplace with attracting the right people, your right audience, your ideal clients to work with, think about, are you in flow? And if you are in flow, think about leveraging and increasing the value or leverage of your offer. So this is me for Flow Tuesday this week. Looking forward to speaking to you next time.
I go with the flow because my name is Joe, and I always used to go with that as well. Live life. Don't let life live you. Say that 3 times fast. It's much harder, but live life. Don't let life live you. These are words to live by and to be truly alive. And Bert, I've absolutely loved you being on, as opposed to lived. You being on the show. We are now family. As I said, take me under your beard.
Well, as soon as you're in South Florida, you have to, before you get here, reach out to us. So if I'm not traveling or I'm in the state, I want you to come to the studio. And I want you to come as a guest so we can do some photo shoots or video shoots with you. And that's it, man. We're brothers, you know.
We are brothers from 2 different mothers who we both love, who we both are very good. 2 mommy's boys.
Yeah, mommy boy.
Big time. You can
miss my mom.
You can photo, and no doubt she is very proud of you.
No, she passed, and she actually got to see me speak, not only on international television in Spanish a few times, and she actually got to see me on large platforms. So, and then I was able to, she actually saw me, buying larger homes and everything, and she was really proud. She was amazing.
Yeah.
Until this day, I miss her. It's been 7 years and she's been gone. But man, let me tell you, that woman, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Well,
so to me, it's the most important thing. But real quick,
yes,
what I tell people at the end of every talk is I tell people, I want to leave you with my quote. My quote is to live life and don't let life live you. My name is Bert Oliva, Cuban born, American made.
I love it. And on that note, I'll tell you who else loves you as well. It is Chuck Norris.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
And we will be back on Thursday. Take care, everyone. And it's clearly time for more Mucinex. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show. And if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.